What's going on? Jun with the Sushi Man here, and in this video, I'll be teaching you how to make one of my favorite meals of all time, and that is unadon, also known as unagi donburi. And we're going to be using pre-cooked store-bought unagi so it makes the process extremely easy. We're talking 10 minutes or under. Well, besides waiting for the rice to cook, that is. It's one of the most delicious and convenient meals to make. Plus, my family absolutely loves it. That's an all-around win in my book. Alright, now let's get right into it. So what is unadon exactly? Unadon is short for unagi donburi, where unagi is freshwater eel, and donburi, well, the literal translation means bowl, but when talking about food, it means a bowl of rice with some sort of topping. So in this case, unagi. Now you might have heard the term unaju before, and the only difference between the two is that one comes in a bowl, unadon, and the other is served in a fancier lacquered rectangular box, which is unaju. That is the only difference. Now the way the unagi is cooked is called kabayaki, which is when it's filleted, skewered, and then grilled over charcoal while dipping it in a sweet and savory soy-based sauce. The result is this perfect balance of crispy and tender meat while the caramelized sauce gives it that smoky, rich, sweet flavor full of umami. It's so satisfying and what makes this dish again one of my all-time favorites. Alright, enough of that. Let's move on to our ingredients. Now this is going to be super simple. We only need 3 ingredients and then some optional toppings. First, the unagi. This one is 11 ounces and it comes pre-cooked and frozen. You should be able to find this or something very similar at most Asian markets. And this needs to be fully defrosted before we start cooking. Okay, next we have rice. I'm going to be cooking 2 rice cooker cups of Japanese short grain rice in my rice cooker. Dang, that was a lot of rice in one sentence. Anyways, when cooked, this equates to about 3 standard US cups. Now, if you have a rice cooker, then I assume you know how to use it. But if you don't, you can check out my how to make sushi rice video with the link in the corner and also in the description below. Follow the same exact steps but skip all the sushi vinegar part since we don't need this to be sushi rice. Alright, and the last thing we need is the unagi sauce. Now, you could get store-bought ones that are okay. It does make things a little easier, but ideally you want to make your own. It'll taste better, trust me. And it's really not that hard. Check out my unagi sauce video to learn how. Now that's really it for the required ingredients, but there are some optional toppings that I usually like to put on there. The most traditional one is sansho, which is Japanese pepper. It has a unique flavor that's similar to Chinese Szechuan peppers if you've ever had that. It's citrusy with lots of aroma and it gives you this slight tingling, numbing sensation on your tongue, but it's really not that spicy. Kind of hard to explain, but it's perfect with unagi because it helps cut the richness and gives it more balance to the overall flavor. Some other common toppings are toasted sesame seeds, green onion, avocado, wasabi, or kizami nori, which is shredded dried seaweed. Takuan, which is pickled daikon radish, can be a nice addition as well. Now again, these toppings are all optional, so you can pick and choose what you want to add, if any. There's nothing wrong with eating it by itself. Alright, now let's move on to making our unadon. First thing we want to do is prepare the rice, since that takes the longest. So again, I have 2 rice cooker cups of Japanese short grain rice in here. And I'm going to go wash this in the sink and then put it on the rice cooker. Okay, now we have some extra time while we wait for the rice to cook, because the prep for the unagi itself doesn't take long at all. So you can use this time to get some toppings ready, or just go relax, read a book, have a beer, or get some other things done around the house because you know that list is never ending. Or better yet, have a beer while you do that. I'm going to go ahead and cut some green onions here real quick. Alright, we're back, and the rice is almost done cooking, so let's get started on our unagi. First, we'll take it out of the package. And these all come marinated in sauce already, but we want to wipe all this off because we're going to use our own unagi sauce, which will taste much better. So grab some paper towels, and we're going to get all this off. Alright, now from here we're going to cut this down so that it'll fit into our bowl. Few ways you can do this. The simplest and most traditional way is to just cut it in half, right down the middle. Or you could cut it into thirds or slice them into nigiri sushi style pieces. It all kind of depends on how big your unagi is and really just up to personal preference. I'm going to keep it as simple as possible and just cut this down right in the middle. And that's it. Now we're going to put this on our baking tray lined with foil, skin side down, and then we'll pop it in the oven. And I'm using non-stick foil here, but if you have regular foil, then spray or spread some oil on there before you place the unagi on it. Alright, so even though it comes cooked already, we want to heat this up by either broiling it or baking it in the oven. I personally like to broil it on high for about 6 to 7 minutes, but keep an eye on it because every oven is different. So I'm just going to place this in here. And on my toaster oven, the rack is on the lower setting. Maybe about, 7 inches or so from the heat? And now we'll just broil this on high for about 6 minutes. Alright, it's been 6 minutes. Now we're going to brush on some of our unagi sauce, right on top. And then we're going to broil this for about another minute or so. Just enough where the sauce starts to bubble up. And look at that. Now we're ready to plate. Alright, so first we'll put some of our freshly cooked rice into our bowl. And then let's drizzle some unagi sauce on top. And now for the star of the show, the unagi. Right on top there. And another drizzle of sauce just for good measure. And lastly, a little bit of sansho on there. And boom! Look at that beautiful bowl. Sweet, savory, smoky, and that unagi is so tender but has just enough crispiness from that caramelized sauce, all on top of a bed of freshly cooked rice. And then a little bit of that citrusy spice from the sansho to balance out the flavor. Can't get much better. And it's crazy how simple it is, right? Now, I'll eat the whole bowl just like this, but sometimes I'll add some of those other toppings like nori, green onion, sesame seeds, avocado. I mean, they're all good and you really can't go wrong with any of them. Try different things for yourself and see what you like. And if you enjoyed this video and like to learn more about Japanese cuisine, especially sushi, then be sure to check out my book, How to Make Sushi at Home, a fundamental guide for beginners and beyond. It's packed with sushi recipes, tips, tricks, and basically my 20 plus years of Japanese cooking knowledge, all in a very easy to follow format with full color images for each step. It's a perfect gift for the holiday season coming up as well. I'll leave links below for those that are interested. Okay, good job on learning how to make some legit unadon. Now make it even better by pairing it with some traditional miso soup by going to this video right over here. Alright, that's about it from me. As always, feel free to leave any comments, questions, or if you have anything you want me to cover for future videos, just let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. ありがとうございます。